Live from the City of Angels, it is Sunday night, which means it's time for the Sunday evening spectacular here on Midnight Movie Talk. Thank you for being here. As always, a pleasure to discuss great news. Guys, we are talking about a film that came into the marketplace in Inside Out 2 and went well above where anybody expected this film to go. Let's look at the numbers and pull it up from Hollywood Reporter. We discussed it this morning on Breaking Box Office, all the details. I'm going to tell you why this film did what it did. Look here, historic $155 million domestic, $295 million global debut. That is the biggest animated bow in the history of Hollywood. That's how huge this is this weekend. That 155 is going to go higher. Trust me on this. We talked about it all the way back on Friday night. When you look at the Friday number of a movie, you look for a multiple of what that's going to be when you multiply the Friday number out by 3 and you end up with the number for Sunday. In this case, it's a little under 3. I'll take it to 256, 257. That means we're at least 158. I think we're going to get to 160. Audiences love this film, and even if I'm not as high on it as a lot of you are, I understand why this film is doing what it's doing, and I can't wait to talk about it. And here we go right there. What a comment to start here on this Sunday night. Boca83, Wave Theory. What do we talk about all the time here on MMT? We discuss the fact that when the box office has been down for a number of weekends, all of a sudden when you get a film that pops up, it's because the next film in the barrel is going to benefit from all of that dead zone ahead of it. Conversely, you don't want to be on the other side of this. If you are a film that's on the other side of Inside Out 2, and next weekend there isn't a film. Next weekend is Kinds of Kindness and The Bike Riders. Those are not films that are going to do major damage at the box office, so it's not an issue. But if you had, let's say, a Twisters on the other side, you'd want to get it out of there. That's why it's very important. When you schedule these things, you've got to give these films space. And I don't think anyone expected this film to be as big as it is. And I'm going to tell you why. But this is one of the best comments I have had coming out of the gate in a long time. You watch MMT and you understand what we're talking about. That's one of the big reasons here tonight as we discuss the biggest global animated debut ever. Right now, the second largest stateside debut at 155. That'll climb to 160, possibly higher. It will not get to The Incredibles 2. That's still going to be number one stateside, but it could beat Barbie at 162. Either way, it's the first time we've been talking about a film with this massive an audience since Barbie. Almost a year ago, the end of July, Barbenheimer. That's the last time we had this kind of action in the marketplace. And the question becomes this: why did Inside Out 2 go bonkers? Let's go through the reasons. If you have a reason you don't hear from me, come into the comments. If you saw the film, tell me what you thought of it. Did you love it more than me? We talked about my review coming up back on Thursday night, and I said I don't love it because it's more of the same, but at the same time, it's still an above average Pixar film. Tonight's Terrible Takes is really one of the worst, and it comes from I love Scott Mendelson. But let me tell you something. If I had the take Scott Mendelson had, I would get dragged from here to Egypt and back on how terrible this is, and yet he gets away with it. Not tonight. We're going to drag Scott Mendelson big time. Here we go. Number one, it is beloved IP. Arguably the best Pixar film. When you talk about Inside Out 2, there's no way it is not at least in the top 5. So when you have a film that people have been waiting, in a weird way, right? It doesn't seem like people really necessarily needed an Inside Out 2, but we love the characters, and now we introduce new head games in there, especially anxiety. I think it's really important to focus on that character, not just Maya Hawke, who really did a strong job voicing that character, but the actual look of the character is easy to hold on to, easy to love. And as such, I see kids running around with anxiety dolls soon. Like everywhere you go, there's going to be little kids walking around with that doll. That's how big that character is to this film, and instantly comes in and makes such an impact for a new character. We don't see that often. Most times we see new characters, go back to Jar Jar, obviously, and you go, my God, this is a disaster. This time they nailed anxiety, and that is one of the reasons this film popped even higher, is people really felt attached to that character. Not just the look of it, the voice of it, but actual anxiety in real life. The number two reason is very obvious when you look at the demographics of who turned out to see this film. The families were out in force. I'm talking about in a way we have not seen in a very long time, directly to the Disney email. These are the demographics from them. Let me roll through this really quick, and I get down to, you're going to see what I'm talking about with the families. Parents, 23%, kids, 23%, 12 and under, 23% of the audience. Kids, little kids, 13 to 17, 15%, 18, 24, 18%. Look at that. Under the age of 24, you're talking about over 50% of the audience. So they came out. Tonight, I was down in Orange County, just got up here, and we're cruising. I mean, this stream's going to be wild because I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants like every other stream, but this time even more so. But when I went by the Regal down in Irvine, I saw a young family coming in, father, mother, and of course, 3 little kids, all going in to see Inside Out 2. We have not seen that kind of action from families in forever. Right? You've got to go way back when you talk about an opening with Super Mario Brothers, where you have out in force, families are at the multiplex, and they are stoked to be back. And I think one of the things that's important to note here is that when you look at the importance of the families being here for this movie, here's why it is extra crucial that we see this and why it's going to matter long term. You go back, you look at Top Gun Maverick. What did that film do? That film brought people back to movies that hadn't been there pre-COVID for sure, but maybe even way before that. That film turned into a zeitgeist catching moment. And that's what this film feels like very early on. This film is easily going to $1 billion, not even stopping for, this thing's going to fly past $1 billion. That's how big this is. It's a phenomenon. We don't get those. We haven't had one since Barbie, Super Mario. They don't come often. It's here with Inside Out 2. But let me tell you why that's important. The families, some of them may not have been in the multiplex for a very long time. Maybe Barbie, maybe Mario. So now they come back and they go, you know what? The movies are cool. I like going to the movies, and the kids liked it. Sometimes maybe like these little kids today is the first time they saw a movie. So they are extra excited. You create memories, and that's where, you know, you talk about cinema and why I love cinema. It's because I go back to all the experiences I've had throughout the years in all the cities I've lived, going to see a movie in a darkened room with a bunch of strangers, and we all come out on the other side, hopefully enjoying what we just witnessed for an hour and a half or 3 hours, depending on who directed the film and the studio, if they told the director not to make it 3 hours long. Number 3. Audiences have been waiting to pounce, right? Same thing as the wave theory. We talked about that early on. When you have people that are on the sideline and they're like, nope, no, okay, let's get this wave. Bang, they came in, and that's what happened. A lot of people were sitting out. They were on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they said, we are in on this. Why did that happen? Because, yes, we talked about it. Number 1, beloved IP, but also just that Pixar brand. Pixar is a brand that is beloved. When you look at their films, I don't care if you go to their weakest films, some will say The Good Dinosaur. Our terrible take of the night is from Mendelson saying it's Inside Out 2, which is insane. I mean, guys, do you even know how crazy that is? If I sent that tweet, that would have 1,000 quotes saying this guy is the worst. Trust me, it's happened to me before. That's terrible take. Mendelson is typically responsible for a lot of terrible takes, but you look at this and Pixar, people know the brand, people love the brand. Look at Elemental, opens at less than 30 million, goes on to 500 million worldwide last year. Why? Pixar brand. By the way, let's make sure that this is 100% accurate. Guys, you can't be wrong. This film is 100 times better than the lame, generic, unfunny Elemental. Elemental, if anyone tells you Elemental is whiz-bang, fun, hilarious, honest to God, I think they don't have an emotion ability to capture what reality is. They literally are living in some fantasy world. Elemental is as forgettable as any film that Pixar's ever put out. And to say that this film is worse than Elemental, I'm not kidding you guys. Honest to God, Mendelson, I love you. You're a really good guy, but I'm telling you, that's one of the worst takes. If I had that take, I would expect to be canceled. Like, it's over. No one's ever going to listen to what I have to say coming out of a microphone because you just said this is worse than Elemental. Are you kidding me? God almighty. Now, if you say it's worse than Soul, I would agree with you. Soul's a very strong Pixar movie. So you have to obviously slot this, and we did that on Thursday. Go back and watch the stream. I'm not going to go through all the Pixar films and tell you where it fits, but it's not the worst. It's not even close to the worst. We'll get to it in a minute, but I have to talk about reason number 5. We need theatrical windows. What happened this weekend? Well, I can tell you what happened. A lot of people went to Google and said, when is Inside Out 2 coming to digital, coming home? And the answer is, we don't know. And then some people actually said it's a 100-day window if they did their research. Either way, what's going to happen now is once we get studios reestablishing the fact that you're going to wait on your ass to see a movie at home, then we'll start to see everything turn. Why is that important? Because, yeah, here, you're probably still going to get a really strong number. But over the long haul, that number will erode quickly as audiences say, I can wait it out. You can't wait out 100 days. That is over 3 months. That means you're not going to see Inside Out 2 until possibly early October. People don't want to wait. They want to be in on the action. Look what's trending today on Twitter. Pixar, Inside Out. Everyone's talking about it. Because when the town square is discussing something, you don't want to talk about it in 3 months. Every time that I get on film Twitter, and every time it makes me want to bang my head against a brick wall. Whenever I get on there, I see people going, yay, look what's home right now. Listen, if you're a true film fan, you would have been at theaters months ago supporting these things. Watch, Furiosa will end up on digital here soon. You guys know I love the film. And they're like, oh, Furiosa is really good. Yeah, don't admit that. Don't come in late and say, oh, look, it's actually good. No. You need to go to the movie theater. And anyone who does that, drag the shit out of them for that. Because at the end of the day, we are not going to stand for these wishy-washy, unsupportive people in the marketplace. We're trying to save theatrical, and I am leading the charge. And I will continue to lead the charge, and I'm fearless. And here's what's going to happen based on what we saw this weekend. Right now, I've talked about this multiple weekends here. Everybody who has heard this speech before, get ready. Here it comes again. Right now, after this debut of nearly $300 million worldwide, if you are AMC CEO Adam Aron getting paid $25-ish million a year, and you are sitting on your ass in the Hamptons drinking your 5th martini tonight, you need to get all the studios on the fucking phone tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And you're going to tell them that we are now instituting a 75-day window on every film that plays at AMC. Now, if you want to bolster your argument, you're going to get Regal involved. So you get both the major chains. Get Cinemark on the phone. Get them all on the same page. Therefore, you have a united front. But right now, you need to go in. While we see what's happening in the marketplace, you have leverage, Adam Aron. You get paid $25 million a year to drink that 5th martini. And I'm here on a Sunday night on a YouTube channel screaming into a mic telling you, do your fucking job and get this done. If you don't do it, bring me in. I'll get it done by Tuesday morning. I'm telling you now, it's easy. You give them no option. 75 days. Maybe we'll go to 60 when we negotiate, but it's not a day under 60 now. I was being kind at 45. Now you've pissed me off and you're getting 75. And yes, I chopped 15 days off the old window, so consider that a fucking gift. And until we get that mentality back in the marketplace and don't give a shit what the studios have to say, because ultimately you have the winning hand. You will force what they have to do, and you need to take action. And again, I cannot believe I am here on a Sunday night having to do this shit while you are off spending your $25 million doing jack shit. And you AMC shills are out there going, well, the stock. Guess what? The stock will pop to 10 once he gets the windows done. You get on that guy. He's about 1,000 years old. Every time I have to watch one of those early access screenings, his old ass comes on and goes, I'm like, shit, dude. Just say, here's the movie. I bet you don't even know what it is because they're not even real movie fans. These AMC, any CEO, they are money people. They act like they love this shit. They don't live this shit. They don't do a channel that's the Riddler's channel from the Batman. No. They don't do that. They sit there with their $25 million with multiple houses across the entire country, and that's how they do it. I don't roll that way. I roll loving movie theaters. I told you guys, if I ever start banking cash off this channel, it's all going back into a screening room here in Burbank. And we're going to show awesome movies. And it'll be free because I don't give a shit. I'm in this for movies. I'm not in this for cars and houses and shit like that. I want to go to the movies. I want to see good movies. Amen. That is the best speech I've ever given on this channel. If you just witnessed it, thank you for being here. Consider yourself part of history. Comments. Universal, it's not making enough money. Put it on streaming in 3 weeks. All right, hold on just for a second, guys. I just need to take a second and just go, okay, all right, I'm good. I promise I'm good. I can certainly elevate and then go back, right? So now we're going to contract. We're going to chill. Universal is the worst. Universal, I love Universal's studio. I think they're the easiest to work with. If I have an email I got to send off, Universal's like, here you go. They're cool. Awards-wise, easy. But when it comes to them dumping movies on streaming and Peacock, they're the worst. They say, oh, well, here's 17 days later, right? Remember, Five Nights at Freddy's, day and date, okay? Which means if you were missing that whole situation, that it is on streaming the same day it's in theaters, and it's still debuted with 80 million. Imagine if that film is not day and date. If it is theatrical exclusive for at least a month, that film opens at 120, 150 million because it is bulletproof IP, very much like what we're seeing here this weekend. But instead, it was day and date. Universal's the worst. And let me tell you one other thing about these windows. Here's what's not going to happen. Studios, I'm going to explain something. There's not even going to be any negotiation. When we lay this out, it's going to be like, here are the points and you need to agree to them. We're not going to move off these points. I might move 75 to 60, but I'm not going below 60. 75-day window. If your film bombs, guess what? 75-day window. I don't care if your film made $3. Guess what? You still have a 75-day window. If you want us to show your movie at AMC, at Regal, you need to give us 75 days. It is nowhere unless it is in one of our screens. So what that means, it doesn't mean the film's going to be at AMC for 75 days. Films are still going to bomb. But if you're going to play them in a theater, even for a week, well, first of all, you're not going to do that anymore because it's a 75-day window. You're going to go as long as they can until they boot it out of the theater. They're like, well, we don't want it anymore. No, if it bombs, no, because then you set up a dangerous precedent, right? You tell the audience, if I don't support it, it's going to be awesome. I'll get it at home. And this is also to tweak the shit out of those film Twitter scaredy cat dweebs that are out there going, well, I don't know if it's safe still after all this time. Guess what? It was safe the entire time if you're paying attention. And let me tell you something. I went to movies the entire time. I went out and did things the entire time. And guess what? I didn't sanitize my groceries. And tonight I'm here on a stream talking to you. I'm alive. I don't know how I did it. And I'm telling you, yes, I have to every stream do that because we have to remember this shit's going to happen again. And those scaredy cats are going to come out of the woodworks again. Well, I don't know. Again, let me walk you through how this is going to work. We don't fucking care if you come. most of you don't even do anything. Just stay at home. Honestly, no one's going to miss you. Like, literally, no one's going to even notice you're not there. So don't worry. Here's the thing, right? Remember, anyone who's a whiner, who's complaining about shit, here's how you do it. You go, I don't care. Just why don't you stop whining and shut up? Instead, we have let's capitulate to them because I don't want to feel bad and have them get angry at me. Let me tell you something. Clearly, you guys, if you know me and you watch the stream and you follow me on Twitter, I don't give a shit if you don't like me. I don't give a crap if you think I'm an asshole. I don't care. I want to see movies succeed, period. And never once did I send a tweet going, it's not safe. I don't know. Can we go? I don't know. That wasn't helpful. All you do is feed the cycle of fear, and we're not going to have it again. That's it. I'm not going through the COVID shit again. This is an all-time cooking. Thank you, Hamza. At the end of the day, listen, this is authentic. This is fearless, and I will always rage for what I believe is truth. And at the end of the day, I am pissed off, as you can tell. This is not an act. I am furious that Adam Aaron is getting paid what he gets paid, and he's doing nothing about these windows. Nothing. You want that stock price to jump from $5 to $10? Get a window done. This guy is so clueless. The fact that he makes $25 million is borderline criminal. I mean, literally, in my society, if you're doing a job like that, getting paid $25 million, I'm considering prison time for you just for stealing money from a company for doing jack fucking shit. Dieter, I need an inside out with Erick and practice. Listen, no, you definitely do not want that. You do not want the inside out version of me. Maybe in Inside Out 3, they'll literally do that. Here's the raging critic. That's what I should be called. I forget Midnight Movie Talk, just raging critic. Because ultimately, there's a lot to rage about, but there's also a lot to celebrate here tonight. I am stoked that this film did as well as it did. Again, it shows you I can divorce what I believe about a film as far as how great it is. I think it's fine. I gave it a B-. But I can also say, hell yeah, we just set the animated all-time debut, nearly 300. When we get the actual, it's going to be 300 million worldwide. That's what's going to happen. Let me tell you one other thing that you only learn here from MMT. Not from Deadline, not from THR, not from Variety. The studios, they always underestimate. They love to pop that number. Barbie did it at 155. The reported, the actual is 162. When you look at what's going to happen, this film's going to go from 155 to at least 160. Then that will, guess what? 5 million, push it to 300. And then you get 2 rounds of good stories. I could work for a studio in PR. You get round number 1. This is the biggest opening of all time, 295 million. Oh, but guess what? 5 more million. 300 million. What sounds better? 300 million. What I tell you guys on Thursday night, if it makes 99, I had this at 99, so I was way under, but I was above a lot of people. 99, it's going to be 100. They never stop at 99. So in this case, you think they want to stop at 295? They're going to 300. Trust me, tomorrow it's going to happen, and you heard it here first. It's time for Terrible Takes. Get ready. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I am ready to roll with one of the all-time worst takes. No, there's a lot. Again, let me preface this for Scott Mendelson, anyone who sends it to him. I like Scott Mendelson, but I also am going to roast him. Since you asked, by the way, Sean Chandler, YouTuber, he says, what are your flaming hot Pixar takes? And he says, well, since you asked, Inside Out 2 is perhaps Pixar's worst movie after Cars 2. Cars 2 is definitely not the worst. Okay, Cars 3. Here's why. Here's why Cars 3 is worse than Cars 2. Because of how they did Lightning McQueen. Hey, by the way, Lightning McQueen, why don't you just step down the race? We don't need you in the back half. We're going to have Cruz Ramirez take over. You talk about Disney doing a franchise dirty. You talk about a character getting trashed, that film. So right there, Scott missed that. Even Lightyear and Good Dinosaur have more interesting visuals, ideas, and stories. Lightyear is definitely worse than this film. I didn't hate Lightyear, but still worse. Good Dinosaur is hilarious for the whacked out berry scene, right? The drug scene. That's good. Psychedelic stuff. That's fun. And it's not I actually like the heart of the Good Dinosaur. I don't think it's as bad either. But the 3 best, Inside Out, Coco, and Soul, I would agree he's right there. But this is not worst film ever in Pixar. You got to be kidding me. Terrible, guys. It's a terrible take. Everyone wad a piece of paper up and throw it at the monitor at Mendelson for having a trash take. Ladies and gentlemen, Terrible Takes. Open comments for a few moments before I get ready to talk about one of the worst A24 films ever made. That's this stream. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go batshit crazy on a film again because what I had to sit through yesterday makes me furious. Get ready. It's coming moments from now. Aaliyah, I love how you're fearless. You go after your friends. Because listen, I don't dislike Scott Mendelson. I think Scott's great. We've had drinks together. Scott is a really nice guy. In fact, he's way nicer than me. I mean, listen, I come off as certainly irritating and certainly assholey, but let me explain. In the real world, I'm actually not bad. Gore will tell you a different story, but it's not true. I'm 100% not bad. I've never done something terrible to someone. I'm going to destroy you. No, I mean, yes, I get angry at the shills, but you know what I'm saying. Mendelson, though, has some of the worst takes. I'm just telling you, if you were to switch accounts and all of a sudden I took those tweets and put them on my account, Aaliyah, you know this, I would get roasted. There would be 1,000 quote tweets going, what is this guy doing? But because Mendelson's kind of like, oh, he's the good guy. We like Mendelson. That's what's so, I don't like that. I think, here's the deal. I don't care if you like someone or not, and this goes to Aaliyah's comment, you still need to be very critical of them. I would expect anybody who watches the stream to go, Weber, you know what? You went too hard here. You did this. And I've done that. There's no question. But I'd never have gone personal. Personal means family, going after, right? Yes, I've said someone needs to hit the gym. But you know what I'm saying? It's like when you cross a line, like someone commented weeks ago about something family and this and that. I go, what the, dude, this is messed up. When I talk about shilling, it's because it makes me angry these people are doing this. It makes sense, right? Aaliyah, you get it. Any other comments? Let's go before I get ready. We're getting ready. Guess what, guys? It's almost time for another I lose my shit over a film. It's terrible. It's A24's Tuesday, moments away. Film Threat didn't mention box office performance. What? They didn't what? Life of Brian? They just trashed the diversity of the characters and moved on? You know, this is the thing. I don't care if Film Thread has 1,000 live viewers. I don't care if they have 10,000 views. I don't care if he has 100,000 subscribers. At the end of the day, my channel destroys Film Threat. Not just sort of. It fucking destroys Film Threat. And I know that, and you guys know it too. Why? Because I'm objective. Because I am fearless, and I don't play the anti-woke or the woke. I'm not ever going to do that shit because I don't have interest in saying everything is this or everything is that. I have interest in looking at each individual MMT coffee mug placement alert. I have interest in looking at this item and saying, is this item good? What does it bring to the table? Was this item made by a woman? Was this item made by a minority? I don't care. Is this item well made? Is it good? Do you guys understand? That's the philosophy here at MMT. I don't care what the philosophy of the company is. What does the film bring to the table? Is it good? It's not hard. And when you play the game that Gore now plays, where it's everything anti-woke, he can't say good things. He has to say, Riley has a rainbow sweater on. Is she gay? Oh, Riley has a crush on the hockey star who's a female. Is she gay? I didn't even think that once. Now, you can read into that. I'm not saying you're wrong to do that, but I'm also not going to say this film is terrible because Riley looked at the captain of the hockey team and maybe thinks she's hot. That's messed up, man. I'm telling you right now, if you think like that, you gotta open up, man. You gotta loosen up a little bit. You gotta chill out. The world's a different place, okay? I mean, I tell you guys, I'm a centrist at the end of the day, all day, every day. But everything has to be viewed under the lens of, is it good? Not is it woke? Is it well made? I didn't watch The Acolyte. I'm not going to watch The Acolyte. I have no interest. The trailers look terrible, and I understand why people are pissed if what they've reportedly done to the series has happened. I understand. But again, I'm not going into The Acolyte waiting to pounce, but that's how these anti-woke YouTubers are, because they know that that is how their audience wants to hear it. My audience, you guys don't even know what's going to happen on here. Hell, I don't even know what's going to happen in 30 seconds. That's how we roll, because everything is individually packaged. I don't have time to say everything from this is that everything. No. We're going to individually look at every single aspect on a film as objectively as possible. It's not hard, man. Here we go. You guys ready? It's time. Oh, man. God, this is going to be brutal. This is going to be as nasty as it gets. This is, my God. I might get even angrier than I was earlier. This is gonna be hard. Okay, down. Okay, I'm gonna chill, and then I'm gonna just okay. Let's talk about A24's Tuesday. This is a film that A24 just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, where the hell did this film come from? Tuesday. What? I saw the trailer and I'm like, what is this? Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and there's a parrot, and it's like the parrot's the Grim Reaper, and then her daughter's dying, and she's trying to stop the Grim Reaper parrot from killing her kid. What in the hell is this shit? And trust me when I tell you this, the trailer is better than the actual movie. Here's how terrible this film is before I get into why it's terrible. I sat down at the AMC 16. I bought a ticket. There was like, honestly, 15 people in there, which is unheard of. A24 films always have an audience. This film, you ready for this? This film, by the way, one of the worst titles I've ever seen on a film. A24, I hope they show this to you in the office tomorrow in New York. I hope you see this. I can't believe you allowed a movie to come out called Tuesday and thought that was a good decision. There are times when I look at an A24 who I think is by far, when you look at their films go from high to low, right? When they're high, they're as high as they get for me. You go and look at some of the films that I love from them over the years. Saint Maud, my number one film of 2021. Go back and look at so many of their films. Go back and look at a film like A Lock, which I loved. I've seen every A24 film virtually, sparing like maybe one or two tiny little things. But at the end of the day, there are times that I say A24 doesn't know what's going on. These people in the office, I don't even think they have a clue. Because, first of all, I don't care if the daughter's name's Tuesday. The name of the movie's not Tuesday. That's a terrible title. The fact no one stood up in a meeting and said, Tuesday, what? No, we're not calling it Tuesday. I don't care what the director wants. This movie's not called Tuesday. It's going to be called Grim Reaper Parrot. Got it? Everybody leave. Get out of the room. Would you not want to see Grim Reaper Parrot more than Tuesday? Just quickly come in the comments. Which is better, Grim Reaper Parrot or Tuesday? But here's what happened yesterday. I sit down, 15 people in the audience, $400 per screen this weekend. Oh, my God. That's one of the worst per location averages I've ever seen. And there's a reason this film is hellaciously horrible. Here it comes. This couple next to me, movie starts 10 minutes in. It's all fucking weird. The parrot's like killing people. He's walking around putting his wing over people's eyes and then they're dead. And I'm like, okay, I can sort of get with this. What's going to happen? The couple next to me get up. And you know when like one person goes to the bathroom, you're like, oh, that guy's just going to the bathroom. They both got up. Boom, together, and they walked straight down and went straight out the door, leaving a 3/4 full bag of popcorn. I posted on Twitter. Trust me. I go, wow, this is how bad this film is. They left 10 minutes in, leaving essentially a full bag of popcorn. I wish that I had left with them. This is a tonal disaster of a film. When you take an idea of a daughter who's dying of a horrible disease, assumed it's cancer, and she is going to pass on, and the mom is holding on to hope, and let's bring in a Grim Reaper parrot to discuss her final hours or minutes with the parrot before the parrot puts the wing over the eyes and she is whisked off into the nowhere land. Then you are thinking this is a really dark drama like When a Monster Calls. If you ever saw that film, Focus Features, I believe, like 2017, 2018 on that film was about a young boy who had to deal with his mom's cancer and she's going to die. And the monster visited the little boy and tried to teach him how to go on in life without his mom, who's going to die of cancer. So the monster was this kind of scary looking, like, you know, never ending story thing. And the movie was cool because it was a hardcore, just dark drama. This film tries to do comedy with that, with drama. A film about again, let me one more time to remind you, a Grim Reaper parrot who's killing people, removing them from their misery of this planet, and then we'll have Julia Louis-Dreyfus making like Seinfeld jokes, awkward shit, like you know what she does. This is one of the most miscast roles and films I have ever sat through. The fact that anyone has praised this performance is an embarrassment to everybody who uttered those words. This is a film that if you said is good, and I'm about ready to roast a fuck ton of critics tonight because it's at 82% on the Rotten Tomato meter. Let me tell you something. We are going to destroy critics moments from now. Trust me on this. The other thing that is terrible about this film, the direction is middling. It does not have a good look. It looks like it was shot with an iPhone and not even like with cool settings. It looks as generic as any A24 film I've ever seen, and the effects are laughably bad as the parrot turns from this big to a gigantic parrot, then back, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus goes up and down in size after you ready for this? I'm ruining the movie. It's fucking terrible. I don't care. She eats the parrot to stop the parrot from killing her daughter. This is maybe one of the worst movies ever made. This is truly a disaster that A24 doesn't need to answer for because no one's going to see it. Audiences spoke this weekend when they gave it $400 per screen, which should tell you everything. A24, you know, at times you love me, other times you hate me. You should love me because if I saw this film, I'd say get rid of it, throw it in the trash. We're not releasing it. It is garbage. It's one of the worst tonal disasters ever. Worse than Babylon. That's how bad this film is. The fact I'm only giving it 5% because they made a film. Have I ever given a 0? 5% is just for literally accomplishing the finish of a film. It's over. We have a film. It is truly an embarrassment of a release for A24 and Dreyfus. If she gets any awards attention for this, I am here to tell you that I am going to retire. It's over. It is over. I will never do another stream. This is one of the worst cast roles, a terrible film. Get ready. Here we go. Let's destroy some critics, everybody, because Tuesday is hella rotten. But no. It's at 82% on the tomato meter. Look at the audience's 52%. For an A24 film, that is terrible. The audience is way too generous. This should be at a 1%. I gave it 5 for being a complete film. That's it. This is truly one of A24's worst films, maybe their worst film overall. Let's find a couple people who said it was great. I like Michael Phillips. He gave it a fresh 3.5 out of 4. Michael Phillips, your critic card, you are now in limbo for at least a week. If you weren't already, to me, a strong critic, we would put you away for at least a month. Neil Minow from Roger Ebert, 3.5 out of 4. And yes, by the way, mentions A Monster Calls. Okay, that's one thing. Too bad it's not nearly as good, and it plays it as a dramedy. Look at all these positives. Finally, Erick Marchand, I believe, follows me on Twitter. Aesthetically, it ascends. Listen, it's not even good aesthetically. C+ is too high. Give me someone terrible. C-, not good enough. Look at all these fresh. Guys, I'm telling you, listen to me. If a critic liked this movie, I am here to tell you, and I'm not kidding, even more so than Poor Things. If a critic liked Tuesday, I'm here to tell you, you can go ahead, and I'm not kidding you with this. I don't care what they say about anything in the future. I don't care if it's a movie. I don't care if it's about food. I don't care if it's about life. I don't care if it's about anything. An opinion that is as mundane as tomorrow is Monday. I can never trust you again because you said Tuesday was 3.5 out of 4. This is an embarrassment of a film. Horrible. God almighty. Comments. Let's go. No, listen, Life of Bri. Listen, the couple left. They got up and left the theater. I have never, in all of my time, even Babylon, they waited 15, 20 minutes. This couple was out within the first 10 minutes. They're like, fuck this. I'm out. They left the popcorn. Let me find the tweet. You guys know. They left the popcorn. I've never seen someone leave a studio and leave a movie with popcorn they just bought and spent $10 for. Okay? Right? There was no free popcorn. So we're talking about $10 minimum for that. And they just said, I don't even care. Fuck it. We're leaving. I don't even want to have the popcorn. I want to be out of this theater as quickly as possible because this is terrible. Listen, by the way, for anybody who says, oh, well, Weber staged. No, I have never, when I say this, never staged a photo. Everything I tell you as a story is true. I have never made shit up. I don't do that. I live life. I am real. I have experiences that are true. I don't make shit up. The couple left that. Look, at least half full, maybe 3/4 full popcorn. Fuck this movie. I'm out of here. And I wish I had been with them. It is truly an awful film. Only reason, Johnny, I'm saying Tuesday over Beau is Afraid is the fact that Tuesday is about 145. That's the only reason. But In elements, Bo, first of all, as a film direction is far stronger than Tuesday. This director showed me nothing. And by the way, it's a woman. I don't care. You guys know it. That doesn't matter. I don't need to have this discussion anymore. I'm not going to have it anymore. You don't like it as a woman. It is as generic a direction as I have ever seen from an A24 film. I don't know what A24 was thinking when they bought this film. It's a BBC film. I think they have it in conjunction. This is truly, heads should roll at A24 for ever acquiring this film. Whoever bought this film has no earthly clue what constitutes good movie making. And don't tell me the critics. The critics suck. The majority of critics out there are terrible at this. And I mean, not it's too nice. That's way too nice. They are abysmal. They are untalented, and they speak for nobody. They speak for their circle jerk group of film Twitter nerds. I am not one of those people. I'm a real person. I see movies as pretty much a normal person sees them. Occasionally, yes, I admit, I go see a Handling the Undead. I'm going to have my experience with that film much differently than most people. But that film, Handling the Undead, takes Tuesday out back and shoots the 12-gauge shotgun 10 times. No, 100 times. And keep shooting it. It's literally like, remember in Jeepers Creepers where they kill the creature and they run it through the car and then she comes back and runs it over? That is what happens when Handling the Undead and Tuesday go into a ring. It's the creeper. Tuesday gets run over, shot, its arms cut off, its head disemboweled, whatever's going on, it's dead. The entire thing is Tuesday is a carcass, much like the parrot that gets eaten by Julia Louis-Dreyfus in one of the most miscast roles in the history of Hollywood. Horrifically terrible. Listen, yes, I'm glad thank you for seeing Handling the Undead, by the way, Life of Brian. That means more to me than almost anything, which it speaks to exactly what this channel does. It's all about what? Movies. It's all about cinema, and Handling the Undead is the best film of the year by far. It is my number one film. It is a near masterpiece. I think it's a horror masterpiece. I can't wait to see it again. I might see it this week. It's down in at Los Feliz or Feliz, however you say that. I've always said Los Feliz, but I think Paul, my friend, was like, it's Los Feliz. Or what I said, I'm like, whichever it is, I'm going to see it. All right, comment time. Anything you got, let's go. That's a real picture. I don't stage shit, except for maybe my glasses and one of those like reactions. By the way, this is my reaction from last night. I don't know if I showed you that. I mean, here it is. Let me find it. Where the hell's my reaction from last night? There it is. This was, again, this is too much. This isn't even good enough. I should have literally been like vomiting. Terrible. I mean, my God, Marvin, AMC A-List membership on me. Thank you. I appreciate. No, listen, Marvin, I appreciate it. At the end of the day, I know you come here a lot, and Marvin, it means a lot to me. At the end of the day, we are. I don't know if I've said end of the day. At the end of the day, for number 7, I want to tell you guys that ultimately this channel is just about loving movies and loving cinema, and the fact that you guys get a kick out of it's awesome. And the fact that I do believe at the end of the day, whether we are, I can't. That's it. You know what? Get a fucking shot and every have it. Here you go. Just have a little bit of skull on me. You need to know that this is all about trying to direct you to the right things and talk about the business and try to save theatrical. This is not about views. It's not about clicks. This is not. Otherwise, we wouldn't be the Riddler's channel on Batman. So be it. I love being that. I would rather be that than have some gigantic audience and have to appease to them by saying, this is woke and this is why it's terrible. Riley has a rainbow sweatshirt on and she likes the captain of the hockey team, which is awfully offensive. Imagine, Gore has fallen so far. If that's what's happening, I'm just going to say one more time. I don't mind saying it. And I'd love to hear what Gore has to say. Gore has fallen so far, if that's what he's doing on his Film Threat, independent film, where he was the voice of films like Handling the Undead. But instead of talking about Handling the Undead, he's talking about what woke shit's going on so he can get views. That's Chris Gore. That's not who I am. I don't do that shit. If I did, I'd try to put let's talk about The Acolyte tonight. Let's talk about how Furiosa's bombing because it's another female lead. Badass girl. No, that's not what I do. And the fact, it's depressing. It's depressing. But yet Gore's the man, right? Gore's so brilliant. No, he's not. He's fallen. He's fallen apart. I'm the man. I'm the fucking man, and you guys know it. He doesn't even talk about Tuesday. He probably didn't even see Handling the Undead. He's going to talk about The Acolyte every single day because he knows his audience will lap it up. That's what he does. You go to the cinema in a good mood and leave. Because, listen, that's what I'm here. Let me tell you one thing I thought about I thought about this in the shower. It's amazing how you have like these really profound things pop into your mind. I thought about this. I don't think there's anybody in this entire space who is better about leveling the scale back to zero than me. Let me tell you why I think that. When I go to see Yorgos Lanthimos' Kinds of Kindness on Thursday, we'll do a reaction stream coming up on Thursday. I am going to go in there with the mindset that Poor Things never existed. I'm going to go in with the mindset, The Favorite, The Lobster, these films never existed, because all I'm going to do, back to the MMT mug, is look at the mug and say, is this good? I don't care if the mug was here before. I don't care if this is the mug after. This is the mug we're looking at. Is this good? And I'm going to get to zero, and I'm going to tell you about Kinds of Kindness on Thursday. But nobody gets back to zero better than me. So if anyone says I go in biased, I go in with an axe to grind. No, when I see Ari Aster's next film, I want to love it, and I will be back to zero. It will not even be -1, -2, +1, +2. I don't even go plus. I don't care who the director is. Look, when I went in to see Saint Maud's follow-up, right? Love, Lies, Bleeding, which I think Rose Glass is going to be, as you guys know from watching the channel, she is going to be one of the, if she's not already, top directors ever in cinema. Not just, I mean ever. That's how good she is. When I went in, I said, listen, I love St. Maud. This girl's talented, but, oh, look, he just gave kudos to a female director. Oh, my God. He doesn't hate. Don't. I'm just playing a game with Film Twitter. At the end of the day, I still went in zero. There's another end of the day drink. And guess what? It turned out I really like Love, Lies, Bleeding. Not as good as St. Maud, but it's still, from a filmmaking perspective, my God, that's what I want. That's how I want my films to feel, right? Screenplay's got some issues, but the feel of that film, the score, right? The mood. You talk about mood. That's what I'm looking for. So when I go to see Kinds of Kindness, trust me, the scale's zero. I don't care about Poor Things. It's gone. I don't give a shit. If this film sucks too, we maybe have a problem. I think Yorgos is, I would argue, maybe one of, if not the most overrated directors. But as I say that, I'm telling you, I'm going to be back to zero on Thursday night. Trust me, I will be. So yeah, thank you for superhero movies. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to like these films. I came in, look, this is me, to your point. This was me walking into the theater, hours before. This was me, like 2 hours before. Look, there I am, excited to be at AMC. This is awesome. I've got my Arsenal kit on. Everything's good. And then I had to watch Tuesday. So that's the beauty. Like I told you guys, at the end of the day, oh, fuck, I can't say that again. I'm literally, hey, Gone Girl, every time I say that, will you, next time I see you, punch me in the face? Just once. Not multiple times, just once. So I don't ever do it again. It'll never happen. It's the last time. Once I swear to God, once I realize I'm done. It's never going to happen. That's not Sony buying Alamo Drafthouse. That's me. 1 second. Let me get that up. This is a big story. We didn't talk about it until, tonight, because we haven't done a stream that discusses how big this story is. I mean, this is a big one, right? This is Sony Pictures buying Alamo Drafthouse. We know theatrical's in trouble. This weekend was so big. Oh my God. For all the reasons we talked about at the beginning of the stream. You guys notice I'm getting a little more tired. I'm getting a little tired. It's almost an hour. I mean, because, listen, that rant at the beginning was literally like soul sucking. Everything came out there. I've got to just chill for a sec. So you look at what Sony's doing, and yes, things are better now with Inside Out 2 right now. But listen, theatrical is still definitely not in the best shape, because there are films that are not doing as well as they should. And it goes back to what we talked about, the window. It's got to happen, but I'm not going to go into that again. I'm just going to talk about this. Sony Pictures did buy Alamo Drafthouse in a landmark deal that puts studios back in the theater game. Netflix does have some theaters. Amazon has a theater down in Culver City. So there are some places to have them, but they're not like a chain. This is a chain, and it's the first time we've seen this. They had something called the Paramount Consent Decrees. So that was back in 1948. Supreme Court ruling said, listen, you can't own the movie theaters and be the studio. Well, that all went away in COVID. So now we finally have a studio coming in, like we thought Netflix would buy ArcLight. They didn't. They should have. They didn't. But instead, now we have Sony coming in here, the first major Hollywood studio step forward and test the water since Paramount decrees were rescinded during COVID 2020. So now you look at them having this let's talk about Alamo Drafthouse. I don't often go there. I've been there about 4 times here in Los Angeles. First of all, it's downtown LA. Downtown LA is sketchy. You guys heard that story a few weeks ago that actor Johnny Wachter, whatever, I forget his name. He was on General Hospital. He went out to get his car at like 2 a.m, and some guys were stealing the catalytic converter, and he goes up going, oh my God, because he didn't know, like his car, listen, I've parked in downtown LA. You park in downtown LA and you've got, you're parking on the street. Because listen, we all want to save money. Parking here is expensive. So you're like, I'll just park in a meter. A meter might cost you $5 versus the lot's $20. Okay, so he sees his car, and his car's up, he's like, it's getting towed. He walks up, and he's like, because I would do that too. He's working at a bar. He comes back. He's like, listen, if your car's up on jacks, you're like, dudes, what's up? That's my car. What's going on? Without a word, the guy pulls out a gun and boom, shoots him right in the chest, dead. Downtown LA is sketchy, okay? And that's where Alamo Drafthouse is. Now, I understand the property Alamo Drafthouse is on is not so bad. That parking garage is messed up. It's a giant loop. You go up to level. You just keep going around and around. It's like that old Fisher-Price parking garage. For those of you who are old school like me, Gen X. Up and around, up and it goes. And finally, that was the most random comment. But that's the beauty of this channel. You finally get up there, and it's okay. But downtown LA is sketchy. I don't like going down there. It's a long drive from Burbank. Pain in the ass. I'm going to Burbank. I'm going to AMC. Forget that shit. But Alamo is known for playing artistic films, right? They have weird film fest. They have things going on. They show a lot of A24 films, neon films, indies, and all that stuff. So it's interesting that Sony bought it. I hope they don't change Alamo's. I think that's the number one takeaway here. Let's hope they don't change Alamo's mission, which obviously is no texting and talking during movies. A+. I love that. They'll come in and boot your ass, which I'm 100% for. But also the fact that they play a lot of these films like Handling the Undead, films I love that are really small and deserve to be seen on a big screen, even if it's not the biggest screen, it's still inside of a theater. I want to see that happen. So let's hope that Sony doesn't do something weird with it. I don't think they will. I think it's a good sign for the industry because, hey, listen, at the end of the day, fuck me. Oh my God, guys, that's it. That's it. Gone Girl, reach through the thing and punch me in the face. Right. Oh, there we go. Thank you. That's it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop myself next time I say that. If someone makes a super cut of me saying that, let me tell you something. I will hunt your ass down. Here's what's going to happen is I think that you've got to look at any surviving theater at this point being a positivity. Being positive. I don't care who buys it. Even Netflix, who we hate. If they buy a theater chain versus it being bankrupt. Remember, those locations just closed down. Those 1 locations from Alamo shut down. The ones that were franchised. So we need to have more theaters. We don't need them to go out of business. 10 minutes, by the way, on the show. 10 minutes. We're going to go open comment at the end of the show because I'm pretty much done. That's it, Sony. Big story. We'll see what happens. It's really too early to know how this is going to affect everything. All right, open comments. Gone Girl, let's do it. And then let's roll out of here on a Sunday night. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. By the way, Sully, for you, I'm just going to do this real quickly. Have you heard about a film called Asphalt City? I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, go see it. It's really good. Hopes for the bike riders this week. Definitely not going to make much of the box office, but that cast is fantastic. Can't wait. Here's my concern, Sully, and let me tell you guys, here's a little bit of gift for you guys being here tonight. I tweeted it. I shouldn't tweet this shit. I should just save it for the show. Why am I giving it on Twitter? I get shit from Twitter. It's why we didn't do the stream on Twitter tonight. It's not even worth it. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. I like Twitter at times. Here's what's going to happen. That's going to be the AMC Screen Unseen tomorrow. So if you want to see this film for $5, I promise you, if I'm wrong, I will refund everybody on Tuesday. That's how confident I am that tomorrow's AMC Screen Unseen is The Bike Riders. If I am right, here's the deal. I will either refund you all the money if I'm wrong, or if I'm right, you guys need to pay me each a $5 fee for finding the film for you. So I'm either going to be really rich or really poor based on this bet. That's how much I'm putting the whole thing in. Here's my stack. I'm putting it in. All of it's in. All the cash is in on Bike Riders tomorrow night. Here's my problem with that film. Here's the issue. Sully, you know this. I know you know what I'm about to already tell you, but you should be concerned for a very important reason. Very key. I mean, very obvious, too. I'm sure you know this. But again, I ain't even going to say it. This used to be a Searchlight movie. Searchlight said, we debuted this at, I think, Telluride, right? Was it Toronto, too? To play a couple different places last fall. It didn't really go gangbusters. So let's just go ahead and put this away. We're not going to release it because they had it on the schedule, and they said, no, we're going to pull it off. And now we're just going to sell it to Focus. Now, that tells me it's not great. Because if you're a studio, Searchlight, A24, Neon, Focus, whoever it is, okay, even Vertical. By the way, the studio behind such films as Asphalt City. You guys, I need a super chat for that. That was brilliant, and I'm as thrilled with that moment as any I've ever been. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You don't sell a movie that you love. You don't sell a movie you think is good. I would never. Now, if I watch Tuesday, I would offload that shit for a nickel. Here we go. What are you bidding? I'll do a nickel. I know you offered $1, but I'm willing to go as low as a nickel on this film. Will you just get it the fuck out of here? And also, please, will you do me a favor? Because the other people here are so damn stupid. Will you rename that movie too? Just call it... What I call it? Grim Reaper Parrot. Will you call it Grim Reaper Parrot? Good. Give me the nickel. I've got a nickel. I'm good. I'm going to roll out of here. You guys got sucker. You guys just bought Tuesday for a nickel. You guys are dumb as shit. I'm not really. And listen, you talk about a director I love. Look at Nichols. You go back and you watch Take Shelter. I think Take Shelter is maybe a modern day masterpiece. The more I watch that film, the more I love it. I also love David Wingo's score. That's a very underrated score, very effective to that film. You look at Michael Shannon, who is not as big as he was. He's now in Bike Riders too. The cast is great here. But I don't think that Nichols is the right guy for this film. Bike Riders looks like too big a film. Nichols operates in intimacy. He needs to be in a film like Midnight Special. Go back again, look at, just talked about it, Take Shelter. What was the other one he did? Loving. You know, these are small films, intimate films, Mud. These are films that it's a really small character film. This has a lot of characters and like a gang fight. It's too much for Nichols. That's my fear. I'm going to go in tomorrow night for AMC Screen Unseen. I'm going to be at 0. But there's two things you need to worry about. One, is Nichols the right director for this film? Two, why did Searchlight offload it? We're going to find out tomorrow, but I guarantee it's not great. There's no way. Luis, listen, as a filmmaker, very underrated, an American filmmaker, right? This guy is an Americana guy. Look at all of his films. They all speak to a smaller culture of, really, you talk about the South in a way, right? I mean, in a way, Take Shelter takes place in Ohio, which is another reason I love it. It's my home state. But he doesn't really state it's Ohio. I just knew it was Ohio because I actually looked it up and found out it was shot outside Cleveland. But he deals with almost Americana, right? Blue collar. And remember when Chris Pratt had that comment a few years ago talking about, I want to see more blue-collar movies, and then everyone roasted him going, what are you talking about? There's all these... No. First of all, Chris Pratt, don't ever change your opinion based on the film Twitter outrage. They're always outraged, okay? Most of them have purple, pink hair. They don't relate to a blue-collar film. That's not for them. So be it. That doesn't mean you can't say that we want to see more blue-collar films. I think that you look at a blue-collar filmmaker who does it better than Nichols. I don't think anybody. I just don't know if this is the right match. Even though the story idea of a bike gang, it doesn't look like he's the right director. But I'll tell you tomorrow, I might even do a live stream. It'll be really short. I'm not even kidding you. MMT evaluation, 10 minutes max, and I'm out because it just makes it easier for me. I don't like to do it outside. I like to do it live here because it just kind of shit works. I just get in here. I can push my graphics up. It makes it easier for me. So we'll see. I want to be positive on this, Sully. And by the way, for those of you who just joined the stream, please watch Asphalt City. Because it's great. I love Asphalt. I know. I'm sorry. And handling the undead. See these movies. Comments. Let's go. Gone Girl. Let's bang. Boom. Here we go. What we got? Give me anything. Anything you got. Will Despicable Me have a chance of breaking $1 billion? Yes, 100%. 100%. That film should break $1 billion. I think that the good news is here is you got Inside Out 2 and you've got Minions, or well, Despicable Me 4, whatever you want to call it. They've got space. You've got room. The problem, listen, again, next weekend's fine because there's nothing there. It's Bike Riders and it's Kinds of Kindness. So those two films do not impact Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 does not impact those films. But when you go further out, you could see some residual ripples on that wave hitting A Quiet Place. But I think by the time we get to Minions, it's 4th of July weekend. It's 2 weeks plus from now. That film will be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Am I excited to see another Despicable Me? No. But are the kids, our families, our average moviegoers? 100%. And you got to remember, there's a lot more average mainstream moviegoers than there are fans of Asphalt City. Thank you again for that. Ring me, dude. Literally, that is multiple winning shots by me tonight. Literally, if I am on Riley's hockey team, I just put 4 goals past the goalie. Easily. 4 slap shots. 1, 2, 3, 4. All Asphalt City slap shots. This would have been a great year to release Dead Reckoning. Much better year than last year. We talked about it so many times. Go back and watch the streams. I'm always right. I'm always on top of it early. I don't need other people to tell me this is what's going to happen. I can already see it. I've got the crystal ball. We're good. Here's what would have happened. You put that film this summer, it would have killed. Remember, last summer was really nasty. You had a lot of films come in that marketplace do better than people thought. Transformers is a great example. A film that took oxygen out of the marketplace that came before Dead Reckoning and hurt it. But really, that film, as we know, was hurt by Barbenheimer, has like 10 days out. Really a week, but it's about 10 days. But either way, too close, and people sat it out. That was also, remember, we already had Indiana Jones and the Dial Disaster. We had Spider-Verse. We had a bunch of big films last year, like every 2 weeks. And that film got caught in the middle of the wave theory, and it got destroyed, wiped out. It should have done $1 billion. It's a good film, a very strong action film, but the release date killed it. And again, it got caught in the wrong space in the calendar. And you're going to tell me right now, quickly on Twisters is going to be fine. Here's why it's going to be fine. Because even though it's so close to Deadpool Wolverine, it is those only 2 films. So Twisters has a week to operate, and then it can work in conjunction with Deadpool, much like a Barbenheimer, right? Help me out here. Deadisters. That's terrible. Twistpool. Much better. Just took me a second. Twistpool is going to be, if anyone steals that shit, I swear to God, I will hunt your ass down. Twistpool is going to be fine because it's going to turn into something big. I'm going to go tweet it now because if I don't, you all steal it. That's what happens here. I get people come in here and say, "This, I need to watch Asphalt City." You damn right you do. Bought it. Yeah, thank you. Listen, here's what I love about Asphalt City. I'm going to do it again. We'll make it the MMT must-see because I didn't even have one tonight. I was just running tonight. I was running and gunning. This was, by the way, just quickly so you guys know, that yes, this was me last night at the movie theater. Hold on, let me get it. Just so you guys know how I don't just sit around. I'm constantly moving. This is me at the movie theater, and then you go and you look at, let me show you where I was earlier. This is me. Yeah, I got to show a shirtless picture. Sorry, guys, the only guy can do it. This was me at the beach just earlier today. I am constantly moving. I'm constantly out there. I play beach volleyball. I'm good. Guys, I will stream it one time. I'm really good. My boys I'm watching right now are going to be like, he sucks. I'm good. I'm legit, like maybe not pro, but like pro minus. Okay. So there we go. So I'm saying I'm always moving. And the fact that I can make Asphalt City our must-see of the week again is a testament to how much I love the film. Here's why you're going to love it quickly, and then we'll go a couple more comments and we're out of here. Asphalt City is as grounded a film as you're going to get, as gritty and grimy as you are going to watch. It's going to be hard to watch, but it feels authentic AF. It feels like I am in the shittiest part of Manhattan in the Bronx, and I am with these guys in the back of an ambulance dealing with lowlives who've been shot, and they're on the street, and dealing with a woman in a laundromat who's insane. She's homeless, and they're like, lady, just go. It's real. There's street casting. This film is one of the best films of the year, and if it were by A24, you all would say, man, Asphalt City kicks ass. Title's no good. It used to be called Black Flies, right? Title's no good. Movie's awesome. Can't wait. Best, yeah. The score's very good too. Good call. Great call, Goober. The score's brilliant. When they're in back, that movie starts and it opens up on a scene where they go get a gang member and they throw him in the back. And then they're in the ambulance, and all of a sudden it's like he takes it, and you can see it's got the what's it called, lens flare. The lens flare comes in, and then you've got this like, and then it's like, and then it dissolves to him on the subway. It's so well directed, guys. That is really strong direction. And if I see these things. These people who recommend Tuesday and say it's great, no. That's not a good film. It's not well directed. Asphalt City shits all over Tuesday. Again, we just sold Tuesday for a nickel. That's how much I think of this film. It is an abomination of a film. And A24, you should be embarrassed. I mean, literally, I would tell you to your faces if I could see you next time. And I know the A24 people. I would say, and they know I'd say this to them, because let me tell you quickly the story before I get out of here. I went to see The Whale. The Whale's terrible. Whale's one of the worst screenplays I've ever seen, ever in consideration for an awards movie. I came out of that movie and I go, are you kidding me? This is The Whale? You think this is good? I walked into the party because it's right out of a screening. It's early, it debuted wherever and they showed it in LA. And I'll go to it. This is when A24 would still invite me. And they saw me and they looked at me, the two girls. I'm not gonna say who they are. They're really actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna tell you they're bad people. But they looked at me and they go, "What'd you think?" And I looked at them. I just went like this. I went like this. Like I looked at them like, you're asking me what I think of The Whale? You're kidding, right? You think I'm gonna? And Brendan Fraser is not. I'm not kidding. Here's the conversation. Brendan Fraser's probably like somewhere about 5 feet away. So I just go, guys, it's terrible. That is. I can't believe you guys think this is good. The Whale is an embarrassment. Again, if I saw them, I would say, who decided to buy Tuesday? Who was that? Because whoever that was should be fired, first of all, no question. And then second of all, if they're not fired, okay, if you decide not to fire them, you can never listen to their opinion on anything. I mean, on anything, ever again. If they say we should buy this film, that's like, you said to buy Tuesday, just go to the corner. We don't need to hear from you. You're out. The adults are talking. You need to leave. You're the Tuesday guy. Guys, Tuesday's so terrible. Please make sure that anytime that you have a chance to go, if A24 mentions Tuesday, go to the tweets. And if you do this for me, it's better than the super chat. Say, Weber says this is an embarrassment of a film, your worst film. Is that accurate? If a bunch of you pop in and say that to Tuesday, they're going to get so angry and so furious that it'll be hilarious, but it'll also teach them a lesson not to buy and release films as morbidly horrible as Tuesday. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. It is a happy Father's Day. I know, crazy, right? I'm a dad. I don't ever talk about, I don't even listen. Listen, at the end of the day, it's all about the movies here. I try to keep all the other stuff except for the beach volleyball. That will show live sometime. I will live stream from the beach, me playing. You guys will be like, who the fuck is that guy? First of all, he's loud. He's pretty damn quick. And he's not bad. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's really big. That's a great way to stop here tonight. We're over an hour. Always a pleasure, Mega Swiper. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate, again, everybody who comes in and has a comment here, enjoys the channel. We are forever, and we will be forever, the only fearless, completely objective channel on all of YouTube. There's nobody in the film space who does it like we do. Nobody, not one. They can try, they'll never touch it, ever, because it takes a unique blend of talent, fearlessness, authenticity. If you do not have these three, you can't do it. And you also have to be decent on the mic. These are four things that most people don't have. One, as I said before, there's probably a fifth. I am a full Let me try that one more time. I am a 4-tool movie critic. Thank you. For those of you who watch Moneyball, it's truly 5. I'll come up with a 5th, but that's the 4. One more time. Authenticity, fearlessness, not a shill. And what was the other one? Whatever the other one was. Talented. Thanks again, guys. A pleasure. Gone Girl. Everyone, round of applause for him. You rock, because you brought comments up tonight, and I was out of control at the beginning of the show. I apologize if I went a little hard on Adam Aaron. No, I don't. I don't apologize at all. Adam Aaron needs to get in the office tomorrow morning and say, we got a 60-day, make that 75-day window, and you're going to play ball. If you do not play ball, we're taking the ball, and you are. Help me out, guys, as we wrap. You're out, because the stream is over. Peace out.